So, you know, my backyard EV shop is literally the size of a garage, and it's very nice. It's my little place, but it's nothing great, right? But because of my car, White Zombie, being on the internet, being on TV, and I mean, it's got a lot of exposure. There are a lot of companies, big firms that think PlasmaBoy Racing is some big organization, some big engineering firm, and it's kind of, it always makes me laugh. But I get calls all the time. Well, not as much lately, but Mr. Wayland, this is a lead technician such and such in Stuttgart, and our engineering firm has been watching the developments of your engineering teams and blah blah blah, and we would like to come tour your facility. The word facility, and I never want to be rude, so I'm kind of chuckling to myself. I go, well, that'd be great, but you have to forgive me, but there is no facility. It's a garage in my backyard.
That's it behind you, right? That's it. You're in it, right?
This is a facility, right? So yeah. This happens all the time. Japan's called me, England's called me, MIT. People have called me and want to come tour the facility. So about 5 years ago, I poured some concrete and I added a very nicely made metal carport with a little gantry crane that I built. And, it's nice. It's a fun area. And my buddy came over the other day and after we did it, and he looked around and he goes, with that little crane and this metal structure attached, you really do have a facility right now. So with that, I'm going to take you outside. And he came up and he made me a sign. And again, it's an inside joke because again, this is literally a garage in my backyard. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So we're going to go into the facility. There's my little crane, right? But can you see the sign?
Home of the facility. Oh my gosh.
So there you go. That's the inside joke. This is now called the facility. I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Well, I guess that winds it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're really a podcast listener, but if you want to subscribe, you say you're an iPhone user. So if you go to our website and then you click on podcast up at the top, it's central.org because we're Central Washington University. You click on podcast and then you click on the Apple Podcasts link. It'll pop up in your podcast app on your iPhone.
Okay. Now, if somebody wants to see this conversation we had, is it up there? Is that something that's recorded?
So this is going to be an audio. This is going to be an audio conversation, but the podcast is some
UFOs.
Somebody's mowing the lawn now.
Oh, we didn't talk about Frankenmower, my rechargeable lawnmower that's hopped up with a lithium pack.
Oh gosh, we definitely
another time.
Yeah, we need to do this like a bunch. I'm thinking.
There's too much material.
But yeah, I might actually put this little tour of your garage up on YouTube if you're okay with that.
Oh, no problem.
Just that end part. As a teaser to the podcast. But the reason why it's an audio podcast is because it's easier for me to edit audio because I'm only working in one medium rather than two. Editing video, you really have to cut in different places because editing audio is all about the story, and you can cut out an or an and or an or like you can cut that out without making it appear weird.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you have to cut in different places for video, and also it's a different package that you're presenting.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who put their podcasts up on YouTube in exactly this. They played exactly the same cut. I don't have a good enough camera for that, to be honest. And I appreciate what Douglas Adams said about, because he had the Hitchhiker's Guide. He had it in books, on TV, a radio show, and movie. And what he said about that was that the Hitchhiker's Guide, the reason why there were different little things that happened to the characters in the different iterations of those media was because they were taking place in different universes, right? Those characters were in slightly different universes in each of those media. And I really appreciate that, because he understood that you have to write differently. You have to make it differently for audio versus visual.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I'm not good at it by any means. I'd say I'm good, but I'm not great. I'm not where I want to be. Because I grew up on NPR, and I know that they would say that they started out as a low budget outfit, but they're definitely the best out there, in my opinion. Them and BBC for podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just. And I also really, I like writing the jokes too. It's fun. But the main purpose of the podcast is to pull interest into both electric vehicles, to educate people about electric vehicles, but to create new members who are hopefully listening to this still in their high school, still in middle school. They're getting interested about EVs, and one day they'll say, hey, this college has an electric vehicle club, this college has a racing team. And they interviewed somebody like, I mean, I'm hoping to pull Stephen Colbert eventually. I'm hoping to pull all the celebrities who drive a Tesla. You know, with that interest generated, we can pull more students to this club, not just the university, but the club. And that means the club will never die. Also, of course, you'll get sponsors, but it's the longevity of the club, because it died in 2016 and we brought it back in fall, and I never want to see it die.
You've got the passion. I can hear it. That's great. By the way, I've got your next podcast for you.
Okay.
I have, well, it's right. It segues with what you just said. I had a young man get a hold of me years ago named Adam Lansing. He was 12 years old, and he sent me a very well crafted email. Mr. Wayland, my name is Adam Lansing. I am, blank and blank years old. I want to build my own electric car. And instead of ignoring him, I responded to him and I nurtured him, and I have become his mentor. He's now 20 years old. He's been on Jay Leno's garage with his electric car, and he has his own company called Hawkeye Engineering, and he's doing conversions out of Plano, Texas. And you really need to talk to this young man. He's very, very exciting, very intelligent, and very passionate. And it's right exactly what you were just talking about.
I definitely appreciate that email. I mean, anyone who's involved, and